Some people think iwi should have a seat at the table. They will often reference the positive things that iwi do for the community. And iwi do positive things for the community, that is a fact. They help with emergency responses, they do charitable work, they care for troubled individuals, they make positive contributions, and that should be appreciated. But this is not a convincing reason to give iwi a seat at the table. Doing good things for the community does not give you a right to political power. The church does many good things for the community, they do a lot of good charitable work. But that does not entitle them to political power. Nobody would argue it does. The idea that doing good entitles them to political power would be laughed out of the room. So why is it any different with iwi? You do good things for their own sake, not to legitimize a claim to political power. Some would take issue with my analogy. They would rightly point out that iwi have been here for far longer than the church. But simply being in a place for longer does not entitle you to a privileged position in the political hierarchy. That is a very right-wing view. The idea that ancestry gives some people a greater claim to political power than others. That is not progressive, that attitude is reactionary. And I oppose it. Political power should not be handed out based on ancestry. That is a deeply illiberal practice that damages the legitimacy of government. Iwi can have a seat at the table, I am fine with that. But they should have to secure that right democratically, just as anyone else does. If the people want them there, they have every right to a seat at the table. But in a democracy, that condition is sacrosanct. Nobody is entitled to a seat without reference to the will of the people. What do you think? Should iwi have a seat at the table? Why should they? Why shouldn't they? I encourage you to share your views with me. You might just change my mind.